Yeah.
It's essentially a woman warrior. Somebody's saying we're burying the lead. The Valkyries are coming. Well, we can talk about that if you want.
And we did.
Can I just make something clear?
We're here to two, baby. Take your time.
Because I'm not saying you can't pay Brock Purdy. I'm not saying that at all. Because this to me is more about Kyle Shanahan. How about this? I'll believe it when I see it, that Purdy gets that kind of contract. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Can you admit it looks pretty good, though?
Right now it does. Sure.
Right.
Sure it does. Right now it does look good. Right. But Kyle Shanahan, I just view him as a kind of fickle. And listen, that's the one thing I want to stress. It's not that I think Purdy's going to take a step back this year or Purdy's not very good. It's just that Kyle has got to sign off on this guy to be his long-term quarterback.
But what's not to like? And I'm asking you, what could he be looking for? Because I'm looking at the quarterbacks in the NFC, Steiny, Jalen Hurts. He making $51 a year. Would you want Hurts over Purdy? Not me. I'd want Purdy over Jalen Hurts.
I don't know about that one.
Kyler Murray, 46 a year. I would want Brock Purdy over Kyler.
Well, that's the issue. The issue is that quarterbacks who aren't great still make a lot of money.
Oh, my good Kirk Cousins on line one.
He's good. Let's go to Sushi Steve in San Francisco.
California roll.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Sushi.
Hey, Steiny, you made a good point about if we pay Brock Purdy, whatever, $50-some-odd million, he's not going to be quarterbacking the same team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, realistically, Kyle and John Lynch, they should be discounting what they're making because they're getting their jobs saved, literally saved, because of Brock Purdy. Otherwise, they'd be gone. Like if that whole Trey Lance debacle, the whole Jimmy G debacle, like all that, they should be fired. And Brock Purdy diving catch saved both of their jobs, so they should be discounting what they make, and Brock should be getting that.
Appreciate it, Sushi.
Yeah. But then I hear him, but life doesn't work that way. What would Kerr be without Curry? You know what I mean? That's right now. That's not reality. And the bottom line is, I hear what he's saying. They had some close calls, but those are the guys in charge. And Steiny, they have had a great run since 2019, and now you just wonder if it'll culminate in a Super Bowl victory. But I'm looking at these quarterbacks, and I totally get what you're saying. Kyle comes off as finicky, but man, what's not to like about this dude? And at the end of the day, if Brock has what we think, let's just say last year, this year, then he's earned every bit of that money.
Yeah, I guess the part that I worry about is when Jed York says Purdy's going to reset the market. Really? Is he really going to reset the market? And
Jared Goff just did it yesterday.
I know.
Without a Super Bowl ring.
I know.
Purdy beat Jared Goff.
But just because, this is the thing, just because certain quarterbacks are making $50 million, do you just pay Brock Purdy? The going rate, Jared Goff, $50 million a year? What are we doing here?
We could bring your boy in there, Kirk Cousins. We can go to Kyler Murray. Hadn't done a diddly squat. Steiny, so this is what it is. This is the going rate right now. And I know you're scratching your head but it's going to go up, 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 up by the time he puts his John Hancock on that contract.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. But I'm not convinced Kyle Shanahan wants to go the top paid quarterback. I don't think you know what I mean? I don't think he wants.
Well, I'd love to see that. He
wants to pay his quarterback $50 million unless he's Mahomes. You know what I mean?
Well, then why'd he draft Trey? He, like you said, and you weren't wrong.
Well, he was hoping. He was hoping he would
and
beat
he would have
Mahomes.
loved it had that day.
Well, that's different. If Trey Lance would have turned into the dynamic quarterback that everybody thought he well, I don't know if everybody thought it, but if he would have been the same kind of dynamic quarterback in the pros as he is in college, as he was in college, well, then, yeah, I think that there's no doubt he would get a big contract. Or Kyle would want to pay him that much money because Kyle discovered him.
And he discovered Brock,
He
too.
did, but it was kind of by accident. To me, it was a stroke of good fortune.
But it's still his genius to use that last pick on Mr. Irrelevant.
And now he's got to go from, you're going to pay him $1 million to
Mr. Moneybags.
to $50 million.
But it could be 70.
Okay. Well, have fun revamping your team. Gerald in Berkeley. Hey, Gerald, what's going on, man?
How's it going, Steiny Guru?
Hey.
Going well.
In my opinion, I think that Brock Purdy is just a better version of Jimmy Garoppolo. And I mean that in the sense that he's the type of guy that, he won't lose you a game, but he won't win you a game. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I do.
I saw him win him a game against Green Bay in the rain Saturday night when they were down. So that dispels that. I saw him have a lead in the second half of a Super Bowl, up 10 on Mahomes. So I don't agree with that. I mean, they were losing to Detroit. I don't care what happened. He brought you back.
This is from the 415. Here's how you determine if Brock Purdy deserves that kind of money. Could he have taken the Kansas City Chiefs team and won a Super Bowl against the Niners?
I understand. Yeah.
I'm just reading the text. I'm just reading the text.
Yeah. Would you be a good parent with my kids? Like, we can do that all day and not get an answer. It doesn't work that way. It is what it is right now, man. And I bet if Vegas put odds out on is Purdy going to reset the market, Steiny, it would just be a landslide of yes. What don't you like?
What's Evan? Do you know offhand? What's Mahomes making offhand? Do you know?
I want to say he's like the fifth or sixth highest paid quarterback per year, but north of 50.
43 a year for
43.
Mahomes. Yeah, 45, Steiny.
Okay, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. So, and I get it. Mahomes is not the highest paid quarterback.
Got 63 guaranteed.
Okay, you're gonna pay Brock Purdy more than Mahomes?
Well, the Lions did it, and other teams have done it with lesser.
I know that.
Okay,
but that's one of those things where if you make a mistake, do you get right off, or do you follow up that mistake?
But see, I think you're looking at it too wide of a spectrum. I'm worried about, can this dude run my team and my offense? I'm not worried about what they're doing down the street or what as long as it's working. Look at Deshaun Watson, Steiny. Everything is fully guaranteed, and oh my gosh, it's been a train wreck.
What's Brock's best attribute as a quarterback?
Reading the defense at the line of scrimmage.
Okay,
that's me. I might be wrong,
and I feel like the quarterbacks who make tons and tons of money, maybe they're viewed as more athletic than Brock Purdy.
Well, he used his legs on that drive against the Packers in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I hate that I'm not telling you Brock Purdy is Johnny Unitas. I'm giving the dude his flowers for what we've seen thus far.
Absolutely.
Can there be a fall off? And it sounds like you're worried about and worry's too strong. If there's a fall off, it's after you gave him 60 or 65 million. That seems like where you're operating from.
Yeah.
But there's a risk in every investment.
I feel like, having watched the 49ers the last 7 years under Shanahan and Lynch, I don't know. I just feel like they have stumbled into something with Brock Purdy and having to pay a quarterback so little that it allowed them to do so many other things with the team that it just gives me a little bit of pause that they are going to go from $1 million to $50 million for Brock Purdy.
Well, didn't we see Seattle do this when Russell Wilson had success on his rookie deal and then they broke him off? Okay, then we saw how it gradually, they had
Purdy as good. Did he get off to How was Russell Wilson early in his career?
I think better. I think Purdy has been more, he's in a different offense with the maestro at the helm. So I think that helps him. But, yeah, Steiny, I don't know what there is not to like about what situation they're in right now.
I feel like there's almost a strategy involved. Like, could you get him for 35? Like, why does he need to reset the market? Why is Brock Purdy resetting the market when we know he's not as good as Mahomes or Allen or Burrow?
It's the way the business is ran.
That's right.
And that's why Jared Goff, you could say the same thing about him. It's how it works, Donnie. It's not how much you won. It's when you're up and what we think you are capable of. And that's what's happening before our eyes.
Just because a starting quarterback is due a contract extension doesn't mean he should become the highest paid.
But he wouldn't be resetting the market necessarily.
Well, I'm just using Jed York's term.
But Jared Goff is now the second highest paid per year.
Okay. So
if Brock Purdy was top 5, would that be all right by you?
Yeah, top 5 or 10.
But that's $53 million. I mean, that's 200 plus.
Well, what's it going to be next year?
It could be higher.
And that's why I said 60, whatever he asked for, Brock.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of
quarterbacks don't grow on trees.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for somebody that we don't know yet is a great quarterback. We don't know yet if he's a great quarterback.
Well, it's trending. NFC Championship game, got knocked out, in a Super Bowl we almost won.
Can we be honest, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Those teams were loaded.
Oh, no.
Like, he quarterbacked a loaded team. I'm just saying.
I feel like you want something that you can't have before they give this man his money.
I know. That's exactly right.
You know what? And
that's exactly right.
But unfortunately, they're not going to have that.
That's true.
So they got to project.
You're absolutely right. I'll tell you what. It's a good thing they don't have to pay him this year.
Man.
I mean, what the hell would you do then?
Write the check.
I mean,
he had earned it then.
I mean, to me, you pay Brock Purdy kind of the market rate, not as the number one quarterback. But we'll see. 888-957-9570 is the number. I'll tell you what, if Kyle Shanahan saw Goff's contract, that would scare me. Because it's not like Goff is a top 3 quarterback. He's okay.
Yeah, but I just feel like we're ignoring the sound. The owner said, in regard to what Evan was talking about, reset the market. So, this is not a surprise.
No.
And it's still growing. The number may change.
Let me just be clear.
By the time is to give him his bread. It's going to be more expensive, most likely.
Well, let me just be clear. Yeah, it does sound like Purdy is, trending toward becoming the franchise quarterback. And Jed York talked about resetting the market. Goff just got 50. And I'm saying I'll just believe they extend Purdy when I see it. And I know right now they don't have any other options. And what are you going to do at quarterback? But I'll believe it when I see it. Let's go to JB. JB's in Fremont. What's up, JB? How you doing, man?
All right. I always tell you, Kutztown, Pennsylvania, baby.
Nice. Appreciate it.
Guru knows who I am. But I'll let it go with the New Jersey stuff.
Right.
Anyway, I was going to call and talk about just the salaries. Hey, Guru. I was just going to call and talk about the salaries. You got a quarterback of Kansas City who's won multiple Super Bowls. He's being paid $43 million. You have this young guy who definitely showed glimpses of greatness, and you're going to pay him more. That makes no sense to me. Not even close. This guy is not worth $50 million. He's not. He hasn't been in the league that long, and he hasn't done that much to deserve it. That's my opinion.
Appreciate it. Well, that's the other thing, JB. The 49ers got to make a decision on him sooner than a first-round pick.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd be able to watch a couple years more of them. 888-957-9570 is the number. Omar is in Oakland.
Omar's coming.
What's up, Omar?
Man, I'm just over here sipping on some Ethiopian coffee.
Oh.
And I'm just laughing at my brother Guru.
Wow.
He ain't worth no $50 million. if you was to pay him that money, you're gonna lock cap the 49ers. Just look at the situation with the Celtics. Jaylen Brown gets $300 million, and now Tatum is about to get $300-something million. We all know Jaylen Brown is not worth $300 million, but they paid him what the market was worth.
Right.
And now, if the Celtics don't win this championship, it's going to backfire. And the 49ers have yet to win a championship, and you already want to pay him $50 million?
No.
That's crazy.
Okay,
He's worth 40 at the most. 35 to 40, and that's about it.
Okay. I hear you, and I appreciate it. Enjoy the coffee. But come on, man. Right now, today, it's not about you or me. Do you think the man, Brock Purdy, has done anything not to get something more than 50? I just think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, we lost him.
Yeah, gotcha. Like, he's coming at me like I'm greasing this. Get ready.
Jaylen Brown's a good comp. Jaylen Brown's not the best player in the NBA, but he's the highest paid player in the NBA. Yeah. So at some point for the Celtics, I'm just saying chickens are going to come home to roost for the Celtics. If they're paying a number 2, which is what he is, more than anybody else in the league. But we'll see. Kyle Shanahan has had an interesting history with quarterbacks here in the Bay Area.
How about he's found his guy? Why can't it be just that simple? He's found his guy.
I'm with the last caller, though. I wonder if you can't get Purdy for less than 50.
Now, the one part of this equation we don't have, to you and the caller's point, is how he plays this year. I still believe, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he has the same exact year as last year. Come on, man. Come on.
Here's two texts, one on top of the other. What are we talking about? Purdy is the best quarterback the Niners have had since Steve Young. He set records in his second year. This is his full season as a healthy starter. And in all capital letters, he's only going to get better. And the 415. And this is interesting. Does Brock Purdy elevate your team or operate efficiently enough to execute the offense at a high level because elite quarterbacks elevate their teams above the talent on the field? And
I don't know how to answer that, but
the way you answer it is, would you agree Purdy can't win you a game? Purdy doesn't lose you a game. Purdy doesn't win you a game. Like I do.
I don't feel comfortable in that answering that. He's got you to the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game. So that comes with the territory. The answers have to be yes.
But okay, I'm going to take your view. So did Jimmy Garoppolo. And we laughed at him. Like, we think he stunk. So how much worse is Purdy than Jimmy Garoppolo if they both played in a Super Bowl?
Or better.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's better than Jimmy, yeah.
I think he's better too, Goo. Absolutely, I think he's better.
And I think he's better than Jared Goff.
Okay, but for whatever reason, Kyle Shanahan has figured out how to get to the Super Bowl with 2 quarterbacks, one of whom is mediocre, and the other is a kind of a phenom who came out of nowhere.
All right.
So I do think Kyle Shanahan thinks he can do this again.
All right. And I keep going back to what I said earlier. When it comes to Jimmy, they paid Jimmy from the beginning. Jimmy already won because they needed hope at that position, and they did what they did, almost got it done. When it was all said and done, we called Jimmy average. Now, Steiny, all that's been talked about these last couple of years was how less Brock Purdy was making and how the Niners benefited from that. And now you got to pay the piper. And that's coming after next season, I believe, if Purdy does the same thing. But as far as Steiny going into a boardroom and saying, how good is Guru without Steiny on the show, that's not reality.
Well, yes, it is.
Because 99.9% of the time we do shows, we're going to be together.
Well, but I have a 2-year contract, right. And what if they're going to come at you with a 6-year deal? So how?
Yeah, I get that. I'm just the caller sipping on the coffee like Brock's going to come in there. Hey, guys, I know what the market is, but I want 40. I'm going to take less. We're good here. No. And the owner, again, I keep holding York to what he said. He knows how this works. They all do.
You know, I'll just say this. and it's not revisionist history. A lot of 49er fans thought Jimmy Garoppolo was good.
And so did I.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Nothing.
So he was pretty good early in his tenure with the 49ers.
And they figured him out a little bit.
Yeah.
But he also was injured. He got hurt all the damn time. But yet you still went to multiple NFC championship games. And that's why I keep, this is just like, I feel like, are we watching the same movie over? And that's why I wanted Brock to win this last Super Bowl. And neither did Kyle.
He didn't win.
And people are uncomfortable as to who's to blame. Or why didn't they get it done? I thought it was offensive line, but you go out and draft a wide receiver in the first round. Okay. But I'm like, okay, Kyle, when are you going to get it done? Because you are the captain of the ship.
If Kyle thinks he can replace this, why did he trade up for Trey? What do you mean? If Kyle thinks he can replicate this, why did he trade up for Trey? Well, I think he traded up for Trey Lance because he saw the way the league was going and he wanted one of these dynamic quarterbacks who could run a little bit and make plays, would extend plays.
Yeah.
And he thought he was a one of a kind athlete. So, and he thought he could mold, and he thought Trey Lance was really smart and he'd be able to handle everything that was given to him, and he didn't. But Purdy did. Purdy did.